But what we thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time. And if they make it, we're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people, if they're the kind of people that we want in our company, industrious people that could love our country. And if they're not, they won't. But it will give them a path to becoming, to coming back into the country. If they miss that limit, they're going to be taken out of our country, and they will never get a path to come back in, and it'll be a much tougher process. And it's called self-deportation.
Now, one of the most underreported stories, I think, throughout the Trump administration this second term is the number of hostages, the number of prisoners this administration has brought back. Here's the 47th example. This is Tony Holden, who was working as a US defense contractor in 2022 when he was arrested and imprisoned in Kuwait's central prison on drug charges. Now, the details of this case are shocking, Army. This man was threatened, he was tortured, and a judge found that the case was a sham. This is in Kuwait. A Kuwaiti judge said the officers presented fabricated conversation between themselves and Tony Holden in English, even though they didn't speak the language. Holden has expressed his gratitude after being freed.
Mr. President Trump, I want to thank you for what you've done for me and my family. I just mentioned to Adam that I wanted you to know, everyone on your team, everyone that have supported this effort, that you know that we greatly appreciate it. Okay, I wanted you to be able to meditate on how you affected personally lives and the difference that you've made. I'm a 60-year-old grandfather and father.
Army, these cases are incredible and they should be feel-good moments for the whole country, regardless of what side of politics you're on. How are they not getting media attention?
Look, it's another example of the Trump presidential dividend, right? Things that we didn't expect that we're getting. 47 hostages. That is a lot of people to be freed, right? And it took Trump 100 days, what Biden couldn't do for 4 years, right? These people, and the example you just talked about, it was an absolutely egregious example of an American hostage innocently being held by a foreign government, right? It was public details about how they railroaded this guy. Yet Biden was able to do nothing. Look, harkens back to Mark Fogel, right? The American who was released from Russia after it took years for Biden to list him as illegally detained when it was very clear that that's what happened. He was a hostage in Russia, but he got Griner released with alacrity, right? There's a problem here. Look, we had very little leverage with Russia, but with Kuwait, we have a tremendous amount of leverage. He could have gotten him freed years ago, right? We sell billions of dollars to Kuwait every year in military equipment. We have a ton of leverage with these guys. Biden would not use it to get this guy freed. And I have to wonder why. It is so weird. Look, it's another example of Trump being president and the world saying, we better get in the same page as president, otherwise we're gonna have a problem.